My turnkey investors owned properties, had property managers, and were generating income. They were exhausted. My private money lenders had a check in the mail and their life back. I couldn't figure out why one group was free and the other wasn't. For years, Flip and I ran a turnkey real estate company. We bought distressed properties, which are properties that were run down or underperforming, and we renovated them, put a tenant in them, and sold them to investors who wanted to own rental real estate. We got really good at it, and we served a lot of investors. And here's what I noticed. The investors who bought from us were not relaxed. They owned properties that were generating income, but they weren't living the life I thought they were signing up for. I'd been telling them they were buying passive income, and passive income by definition means money you earn without actively working for it. But the truth is, they were buying a second job, because active real estate ownership is a second job, and most of them already had a first one. And then I watched something that changed my perspective completely. I watched our private money lenders, who were the people who were financing our renovations, and I compared their experience to our turnkey buyers. The lenders were happy, very happy. They had a fixed return coming in, meaning a predictable set amount of income on a schedule. They didn't have a property to manage. They didn't have a tenant to deal with. They didn't have a contractor to chase. They received their money on time and they went about their lives. They were free. That observation is why we built Freedom Notes. Not because we wanted to add a product to a lineup. Because I looked at two categories of investors, and one of them actually had their time back. And that's what I believe in. And that's what I want to offer to the people who work with me. True passive investing means you put your capital to work and then you get to focus on everything else in your life. You're not the landlord. You're not the decision maker on every repair. You're the investor, and your job is simply to invest. Active real estate ownership is a job. It can be a great job. It can build significant wealth. And I'm not here to tell you it's wrong. I'm here to say it's a very different thing from what most people think they're buying when they hear the phrase passive income. I remember talking to an investor who owned 4 turnkey properties across 3 states. Smart guy, organized. He had spreadsheets for everything. And he told me that he spent approximately 10 to 15 hours a month actively managing his passive portfolio. That's a part-time job. He wasn't free. He was just self-employed in a different way. He moved a significant portion of his capital into Freedom Notes a few years back. The last time we talked, he said he checked his portal, which is our online investor dashboard where you can see your account anytime. And he logged in that morning, saw his balance growing, and then closed his laptop and went for a walk. That's the goal. That's what this is supposed to feel like. Now, I want to be clear about what you give up in exchange for that simplicity. You give up control. You're not the decision maker on which properties we buy or how we operate them. That's our job. You also give up the upside of equity appreciation, meaning if a property doubles in value, Freedom Notes investors don't capture that gain the way an equity owner would. What you get instead is a fixed, predictable return, 8 to 14% depending on your tier and track. A team that handles everything, no decisions to make and no calls to take. Your time back. And for people who want simplicity, predictability, and their life back, many landlords who have lived the active rental property ownership life will tell you that trade is a very good one. Quarterly cash flow that you don't have to work for is the key. Think about what you want your money to actually do for your life. Not just the return number, the life it enables. Time, freedom, calm. That's what passive real estate is supposed to be. And we built our products to actually deliver it. In one of our next videos, we put Freedom Notes side by side with a REIT. What's the same, what's different, and which one actually fits the investor who wants stability? I hope this video is helpful, and I hope we have the opportunity to work together. Just head over to chatwithfreedom.com and let's talk.